ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय श्रीगौरप्रियमूर्तये श्रीमते भक्तिवल्लभ तीर्थ गोस्वामिने नमः। पतित पावन परम करुणामय परमाराध्यतम श्रील गुरुदेव नित्यलीला प्रविष्टों विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद श्रील भक्ति वल्लभ तीर्थ गोस्वामी महाराज जी के श्रीपाद पद्म में असंख्य कोटि साष्टांग दंडवत प्रणाम करते हुए उनकी अहेतु की कृपा प्रार्थना करता। By the mercy of most revered Srila Gurudev, we have been discussing about the glories of the holy name for last 21 days. So yesterday we were discussing about little more about the qualifications of the religious preachers, how the preacher should be. And later we try to understand that what are the scriptures. Scriptures are the sound authority. They are the sound authority. Shabda Pramanam. They are Shabda Praman. So Srila Haridas Thakur, he was speaking about Shabda Praman, and we discussed about that if someone believes in God, he must necessarily believe in the words of God. If the person doesn't want to believe in the words of God, and that is not considered correct, simply by making some lip movement saying that I believe in God and the Shastras, but not exactly believing in the words of the God and following them, practically applying them in his routine life, doesn't serve real purpose. It's interesting in the modern public that the scriptures are considered as irrational books, and many consider them as useless books, and some consider them as useless rituals, or maybe some myth, or like some kitchen books, or maybe some fictitious stories like that. They consider these scriptures in that way only. And you can see they believe that the wisdom of the scriptures is only useful in our old age. They believe that it's not for the youth, it's not for the young people, it's for the old people. Especially for those who have nothing to do. So it's like a book to pass time, it's like a book just to keep the person engaged, kind of feeling which people of this modern society they have in their mind. Their conclusions are mainly based on their direct perception and interference. For these, the Shastric texts are there that they may interpret their text to suit their ideology. They go on twisting the text to the great extent, sometimes explaining them on grammatical, etymological and philosophical grounds, sometimes splitting them into so many alphabets and once again uniting them in their own ways to support their views. The modern people, they do like that. They split the words. Not only that, they split these words, they make interpretations according to their requirement, their understanding, their conditioning. So there are so many such situations which can be seen, observed in this world. And some people, they only believe when the statements of the Shastras are proved in a scientific laboratories under some special intellectual personalities. So under the supervision of them, then only they believe. Means they believe that the Shastras have to satisfy the scientific criteria. What Shastras speak is the science, but for them, if science approves it, then only it is a Shastra. There are such kind of people. If the Shastras are not capable of standing this scientific tests, then their survival is foredoomed. Like that. And there are another section of people, and these are the people, those who are most dangerous people. What they are doing, they patiently wait for the approval of Western scholars. So for them, Shastras means it has to receive an authenticity, approval from the Western scholars. And these people, they claim themselves to be more polished, dignified, sophisticated, everything, and then they are dressed very civilized in their views. Than the rest of the people in the world. So what they are doing, they try to imitate these Western scholars and Western philosophers, all these kind of people. And then they only follow if whatever is written or approved by the Western scholars or Western philosophers. For them, they don't believe whatever is coming in our bona fide scriptures. That's why we can see today the youth or the people who are little above than their youth, they all mostly they follow the Western ideology, Western style, New Age style, or like this. Especially people from the most spiritual nation, they feel themselves like more stressed in following the Vedic culture and the standards of living which is propagated by the Shastras. So now they try to anchor for something different. And at one point when they get tired of that lifestyle, again they come back to the Vedic lifestyle only. Like we can see, there are so many people, those who have so many facilities, those who have so many objects of senses, to enjoy. While enjoying the life in many different ways, eating all the things what they want to eat, dressing up in a way where how they want to dress up, doing everything. But they are so tired, so they want to adopt the Vedic ideology, Vedic lifestyle. But these people, those who are so fortunate to be born in the most sacred land, but they try to follow, imitate these Western philosophers. As there is a saying, whatever is like visible from distance, that always appears great. Like we see the snow mountains, they appear so beautiful, these snow mountains, like Himalayas, or there are so many mountains which are nicely covered by the snow. When the sun rays falls on it, it shines like, it glitters like gold. It appears so beautiful, or maybe like shining silver. Feel like going there and catching it. But the moment we try to walk, we can see it's not an ordinary mountain. It's not possible that the snow can remain on ordinary mountain which has less height. It has to be much higher. I still remember one time, quite few times, when I was flying to Kazakhstan, because I traveled to Ukraine through Air Astana, so it goes to Kazakhstan, to Almaty. When the flight is passing through, it's passing through a bunch of snow mountains. So from the window you can see that you can just touch them. While the aircraft is moving, and you can see the snow mountains so clear to the aircraft. Imagine how big those mountains are. It's not that the aircraft is going from lower distance. It's flying above 36,000 feet. But you can see from the window that you can easily catch those mountains. That big mountains are there and fully covered with like snow. It's like a white, crystal white, clear bed sheet of snow is being laid on those mountains. What I want to say is, from distance things appear very beautiful. When you go close to it, you can understand how difficult they are, how depressing they are. This material world is like that only. It's like mirage in the desert. A person who is suffering from thirst, he wants to quench his thirst, and when he was in the middle of the desert, due to the sun's rays on the sand, it starts to appear in a way that there is a flow of water. The person, because he is so thirsty, his brain stops functioning, and then he rushes there, and to his surprise he finds there is nothing. Again from there he sees from that distance there is so much of water. And in search of water, jumping here and there, finally he ends up his life. This world is like that. It's designed in such a way where we have so many desires, and when we see a little hope that we can enjoy, immediately first thing we do is we give up the authority. I remember one time I was flying in Turkish Airlines to Europe, and next to me there was a person sitting and according to his system of faith, the religion which he follows, they are eating chicken or eating non-vegetarian or to drink alcohol is strictly prohibited. But he was sitting on the next seat, and then he ordered for the chicken, and then he is eating. That time I was flying to Paris, so it's via Istanbul. So from Delhi to Istanbul, I was so tired and I was sleeping, and when I woke up, I saw to my surprise that this person is eating non-vegetarian food and taking alcohol. I asked him, excuse me, why would you consume these things? Because according to what I understand, these things are prohibited. He said, it's true that these things are prohibited, but the desire always inside the heart. So when we are with our parents, when we are with our family, we can't do it. So this is the time when we are alone, we are free now. So I just want to live my life happily, enjoy my life. So that's why I am tasting this. What would you say to such people? So there are such a class of people, those who find a way by which they can break all these rules and enjoy. He feels so happy drinking alcohol, but going against the standard set by the authority and imitating some others ultimately is not going to bestow any kind of benefit. We should not imitate, we have to follow the authority. Imitation is not good idea. Most revered Srila Gurudev would always emphasize on this point, that never imitate. We imitate how the sadhu is eating, how the sadhu is sitting, how the devotee is doing, and what result we are getting? Nothing. We imitate the worldly person, and what result we are getting? Ultimately, in both the cases, one result we are definitely getting, that is creating our own misfortune. Instead of following a sadhu, if we imitate a sadhu, then we will be the most unfortunate person. Our fortune is burnt, because you had the chance. You had the chance to follow. You had the chance to learn, and you have the chance to succeed your life. But that could not happen because external limitation. At the same time, imitating the worldly people, they smoke. Okay, I shall smoke. I remember when I was small, my friends, we were like in 10th standard, it's something like 15 years. They all booked a room in the hotel, and then they want to practice smoking. So they saw one movie, and the actor smokes first and then drinks some alcohol, and after that he releases the smoke from his mouth. So he holds the smoke in his mouth. It's a kind of fashion, or maybe some kind of action he does in the movie. And now these crazy boys, so small, young boys, they all gathered there. I was also invited there as a guest, and also they proposed me, which I fortunately denied. And you can see me slowly, my life changed, and I am in front of you today. But these boys, they all are practicing, and during that time they were coughing, because it was the first time that they were smoking. Anyhow, imitating such people, what result is coming? Oh, the smoke will go inside the lungs will get spoiled. Health will get spoiled. It can be lungs cancer, it can be throat cancer, any kind. Tobacco is there, burning tobacco, it's going inside. It's spoiling the respiratory system. So ultimately, imitating that lifestyle, consumption of alcohol, consumption of drugs, consumption of cigarettes, all those things ultimately leads to disaster only. Either ways, the person is spoiling his life. But for them, they consider that as liberal, they consider themselves to be secular, they consider themselves to be social, they consider themselves to be highly intellectual and very and also experts in making right decisions of their life, like that. What else can be the most unfortunate thing? What else can be most unfortunate thing? One who comes out from the shelter of the authority, one who doesn't want to accept the authority, ultimately has to suffer such consequences only. So these are the kind of people they see. They have this kind of idea. Some people, they believe them if they are coming from through science. And for some, they are completely like a kind of people, those who consider it as totally a useless stuff. They believe that these are like kitchen books which are useful for ladies or some widows or some other kind of people, people those whose wife they died, like that, only to calm down, or to the people those who have no intelligence. They don't understand that how useful these scriptures are. If we just don't talk about the spiritual aspect, but still by following these scriptures, by reading them, what comes is the mode of goodness. The mode of goodness becomes very strong. When the person lives in the mode of goodness, naturally he won't be violent, he won't be aggressive, he won't be restless, and he will have the nature to help others. All these things can be easily seen in such a kind of persons. At least a person can live peacefully. That is the most useful thing. If they don't believe the spiritual benefit of these following these scriptures, but still it can be a great help for a person to live a peaceful life. A person don't need to earn huge amount of money, because they will be living a life simple living, high thinking. They won't be living a life with high living and simple thinking. That's totally different. You won't be miser. You won't be having any kind of demands. When the biggest reason of misery is ulterior motives, unfulfilled desires. So as we follow this, as we follow the scriptures, what happens is our desires will not be there. We will be free from desires. We will be free from violence. We will not like to harm any single individual. Today, we don't hesitate to harm anyone. That time, we will not have the heart to harm anyone. We will say, no, don't harm anyone. Even in this world itself, person can at least live a very peaceful, dignified life. That is the speciality. But foolish people, they don't understand all these things. For them, these are like some kitchen books, outdated books, or maybe some mythology only for the old people, backward people. like that. We can see, it's so interesting. We can see that it is so interesting that people they like to sit and share their food with the dogs. They like to sit and share their life with hogs even. It's so strange that when you go to some Western country and people they like to live with hogs even. People, they like to live with hogs, cats, dogs, and also they like to eat food in the same plate with the dogs. That is, this dog conscious society can be found everywhere, all over the world, irrespective of any country or anything. They hesitate to clean the stool of the mother or the father when they become old. But it's so surprising. But they have to carry these plastic bags, and wherever the dog passes the stool, they have to collect it, carry it along with them and throw it in the garbage bin. Even in the parks also it's not allowed. I remember I was in France. It's in Bordeaux. In France, Bordeaux. It's a beautiful city. So I was there, and then they took me for a walk. So when I went down to the riverside, and then I saw that people are walking there. We were sitting in some place and then chanting the holy name, and I was surprised to see that people, they are bringing their dogs for the evening walk. And then it's a rule that even in the garden or some country areas also, like near to the rivers and all, it's not allowed that the dog can pass stool. So the person is holding the dog, and also he is holding the plastic bags. And then when the dog passes the stool, he just takes the stool and then carries it along with the dog and goes to some place and dumps it in the garbage bin. It's good. Stool should not be thrown here and there. That's really very nice, that how they try to keep the gardens clean and all. But I'm talking about the nature. When the person becomes old, you just leave them alone in the house to do their things by themselves. I have seen quite few people in that way, that they are 70 years, 80 years old people. They are left alone in their house, and they manage things by themselves, and then they survive lonely life, and there is no one if they fall on the bed. But people are very happy cleaning the stool of the dog. What kind of life it is? We consider this as a sophisticated society, an advanced society. That is the biggest misfortune today. And such mentality has been increasing everywhere in the world. One time I was collecting some donations for the Mutt festival in Punjab, in Chandigarh. And I saw, to my surprise, it was Sunday, because we used to go on Sunday. People would stay in their houses so that we can get some donations. I saw that the people, they are eating with the dog in the same plate. So like this, because everything is westernization, following the Western mindset, mood, everything. There is no value for human beings, but there is so much of value for dogs and cats. And they consider that to be more secular, liberal, and very, very merciful. But when it comes to serve cow, then immediately people, they consider this as communal or maybe some crazy people or something like that. People worshipping animals. Here they are worshipping, and that too not an animal. They are worshipping cow is mother. Cow is not an animal. The word animal is not used for cow. Mataram sarva bhuteshu. Cow is considered as the mother of all the living entities. And what she does, Gavo sarva sukha prada. She is the bestower of all the bliss, all the joy. Those who serves cow. Cow dung and cow urine are the natural antibiotics. They are so special. So much of research is going on all over the world. And then it's used in many ways. So we are not here to discuss about cows or dogs, but we are here discussing about the mentality of the so-called civilized and sophisticated, highly qualified, educated society. Their life has no meaning. Like that. They take care of dogs, they take care of cats, but they kill so much of chicken, they kill so many fish. So cruel. Like that. All this mentality is not good. All this mentality is going to give so much of misery at one point. So these people, they don't believe in scriptures. If you quote something from the scriptures, they say, it's all some fake things. Because what I can't see from these naked eyes, how would I accept it? We don't see so many things. We don't see air, we accept it. We don't see fire inside the body, but we accept it. That's why we check the temperature. That's fire, which shows that your body is now 98 degree or 35 degree, whatever it is. Celsius or Fahrenheit, whatever is seen, it's all actually the fire within the body. Because of the fire, Ayurveda, people believes in Ayurveda, it says there is fire in the body. Where is the fire? Like that. It's not seen, but it is there. Air is not seen, but it's there. So many things are there. Mind we can't see, but mind is there. Emotion we can't see, but it is there. That's why it is expressed. Before expressing the emotion which comes within the heart of the person can't be seen. Through the expression it is understood that there is emotion. Like that. Not necessary that what we don't see through these eyes doesn't exist. There are so many things which exist. And also things can be understood on the realized state, on the realized ground, not on the ignorant platform. When the person is ignorant of something, how will he understand what it is? The knowledge has to descend. First the knowledge has to come. When the knowledge is not there, then it is not possible. No realization comes, no wisdom comes, nothing is coming. What are these shastras? Shasanatrayate iti shastra. They are our real teachers. All the scriptures are our real teachers. They are the books. They are the words of the God. They are like the teachings which helps the human civilization to progress. Like that. If the Shastras were not there, we would be living really a life of animals. That's why in ancient days, All those people, those who are not the followers of Vedic knowledge, they were living like an animal only. Vedas taught them, the scriptures taught them that how to survive, how to live. But the modern society is not so keen, is not so favorable to these scriptures. What they think is we have to live a life like a modern people. Nice hat, nice pipe, and nice coat, all those things. But go and see how they are suffering in that lifestyle. It's like twinkling stars, that's all, that shines so beautiful, but the result is very dangerous. The result is very miserable. So much of pain, painful, not good. Some people, they accept the Vedas and they don't give any place to other works, like they don't give any importance to Puranas and Sanhitas, all those things, and also Itihasas. And what they say, that these books are of minor importance, there is no major importance for all these books. They say it's like okay. So such a kind of people, so what these do, these people, even though these people are like cornered or defeated, whatever happens, what these people do is they don't like they will just they are not ready to accept anyone or any of their words. What they do, intentionally and mischievously, they are prepared to crush their views. Those who try to explain, those who try to make them understand what they are doing, these people, they intentionally or mischievously, they are prepared to crush the views of other people. So that's why they don't accept the Shastric teaching, Shastric works as the authority, or they are authentic. Even though they are defeated by other views, Itihasa Puranam cha Panchamo Veda Uchyate. So it's not so easy to understand Vedas. Vedas cha sarvam ahamaiva vedya Vedanta krit ved vidaiva chaham. The Lord says only thing to be known through Vedas is me. I am the one who has made these Vedas. They are apaurshyas, not written by an ordinary person. Veda means what? Knowledge. So I am the knowledge. Knowledge is through me. Knowledge is to know me. That's all. But now, unfortunately, what is happening? These people, they are not ready to accept. They only want to follow Vedas, but they don't understand Vedas because they are not surrendered to the Supreme Lord. So to understand these things, there are the scriptures like Puranas and Sanhitas, all other things, but they are not ready to accept them. With their half sterile knowledge, they try to suppress, or they try to like intentionally, they try to dominate, they try to crush the opinions of other scriptures by rejecting or by making some wrong interpretations or through some strange debates. So there are some different kinds of people, those who blame Brahmins, saying that these Shastras, they are created by these selfish people to exploit other innocent three castes, because Brahmins are considered superior. So they believe that all these books are written by these Brahmins only, just to dominate other three castes, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Sudras. They don't understand that Brahmins are not, they should not be considered in that way. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord says, Chaturvarna Maya Srishtha. I am the creator of these four Varnas. This Varna system is created by me depending on their qualities and their activities. So if a person who possesses the qualities and the activities of Brahmin, such person are considered as Brahmanas. So those who are Brahmins, those who possess such good qualities, the qualities in the mode of goodness, and worship the Lord, adore the Lord, and serves the Lord, those who are so simple by nature, those who are kind by nature, those who are very spiritual, they all are considered as Brahmins. There are so many other qualities, but it's not the time to discuss them. So those who are of not this spirit, such people, those who are anti-scriptural, anti-spiritual, anti-religious, such people, they believe that these people only wrote these scriptures, books, only to exploit the innocent three castes. They also believe that there are such a kind of instructions, there are such a kind of remarks that contains in these work which speaks about hell and heaven, and then only to threaten the people, only to frighten them, to scare them, so that these Brahmin people, in the name of making some worship, they can earn some livelihood. Because when there is fear, definitely you will rush for protection. So they believe in that way. All these diverse dispositions are due to extreme ignorance on the subject. Why? What is happening? These diverse dispositions are because there is an extreme ignorance on the subject matter. When a person is ignorant, speaks all kinds of rubbish. So when a person is no more ignorant, then there is no question of speaking anything rubbish. I am ignorant of something, so I don't know. I have no respect. So that's why I speak everything in a very strange way. But when I have knowledge of the thing, then the same thing is seen in a different perspective, is understood with a different perspective. Like that. The most intelligent person of this creation, the first person of this creation, known as Brahma, when he saw the Lord wearing a kind of dress till his knees, and also holding the curd rice in his left hand, and then eating with the right hand, and also the flute is there on his belly, as well as the horn which he plays is also hanging next to on his belly, and then he has one stick through which he chases the cows and the calves, that is also next to him, and then he is eating curd rice, licking his fingers. And he was so surprised to see how this boy can be God, how he can be the Supreme Lord. Not possible. Before, he was there with this pride that I am the creator. So even the God appears, I should know. Without my knowledge, it's impossible that the Lord will appear. when he is coming to this world, when he is coming, how he is coming, the Lord has, I know he will inform everything to me. Because I am Brahma, I am the creator. Where this I is there, that ego is there. That's why even the Lord himself is present in front of him. His own father is present in front of him, but he could not understand. That's the speciality. It's not so easy to understand like this when there is ego. But the moment when the Lord, he opened his eyes, he gave him the vision by which he can see, when he was surprised, then he offers his pranams to the Lord and he says, your appearance is appearing so beautiful, so nicely you are holding the curd rice. It's not like applying some butter or something like that. It's realization. It's realization. Why? Because as a creator, he has seen many other forms of the Lord with four-handed forms. But this is the first time he could see that the Lord is with two hands and not so externally opulent. But the opulence is seen in a different way. The beauty is seen in a different way. When he could differentiate, then naturally he bowed down in the lotus feet of the Lord and he is glorifying how beautiful your appearance is, O my Lord. So the glorification which comes on the realized state is the true feeling. Is the true feeling. So that's why Shastras appeared to be a useless book as long as the person doesn't get into it. So these kind of people, they listen bits and pieces from here and there and acquire some half knowledge. And then they try to dominate the standards of the Vedic injunctions. They try to dominate the teachings of our great personalities by their sterile brains. Such kind of people are there here. But why all these things are happening? Because of the extreme ignorance. Like you have no idea. Like if something is written on the book, when I see, I try to read it, but I am unable to understand. I may say, it's in English. Why am I unable to read? What does this mean? To my surprise, I come to know that actually it appears like English through alphabets, but when I read, then I understand it's actually not English, it's Spanish, or maybe it's French. Finish. How would I understand? Even the pronunciation is different, vocabulary is different, everything is different. But when I am ignorant, I see everything as English. Quite few years back, I was in Mumbai and then someone gave me a newspaper. I was thinking it's Hindi and I just want to read it, and I am unable to read anything. When I am unable to read anything, I was thinking it's Hindi, why I am unable to read? Then I got to know that it's not Hindi, it's Marathi. The language appears like Hindi when you see, but when you read it, some words is totally different and you will hardly understand it. So the thing is, when we are ignorant of something, we will not have any respect for it. So these scriptures, people are so ignorant. In the modern civilization, earlier people used to read so many scriptures. The knowledge, the teaching is totally based on scriptures only in the olden days. But later they switched to some modern knowledge, and then they learn all those things which are actually not useful for any kind of activity. like history or some other subjects, various subjects which students, they keep on reading and then they write and so many things. But there is no teaching, there is no message, there is no moral, nothing is there. So slowly, the tender-hearted children, their heart is being polluted by this kind of modernized education system. And then at one point, they are trained in such a way where they understand that all these bona fide scriptures are nothing but mythology. They are just some useless stories and useless books. Their brains are tuned in such a way that it's not going to be useful for you in any way. I don't understand in what way the history is useful. If we talk about some kings or some invaders or this, that, so many other things, in what way it's useful for the children? It's not useful. It's not patriotic, it's not devotional, it's not cultural, like that. So anyhow, the idea is people, they develop such kind of mindsets. Small children, they are given this alcohol, marijuana, they smoke ganja, all those things in so many countries. Mothers and fathers, they are so sad. And also these days, this television and movie industries, in the name of entertainment, they are teaching the people how to be more violent and how to be more characterless. What has to happen? What the lifestyle which is completely in privacy is revealed openly in front of the cameras. Such kind of things are happening. Now, even though a conditioned soul who falls into this material world is anyhow not willing to surrender to Krishna, is not willing to chant the holy name of the Lord, but now making the life more fast, like it was like from dial-up, it was like 2G, 3G and 4G, now again 5G. These kind of like people becoming so impatient, the moment you click, immediately it has to open. If it's not happening, then the network is now rejected completely. They have become so restless today. And where is the time to understand these bona fide scriptures? When they don't understand, then they become atheists. And then they keep on challenging the authenticity of the scriptures. Even if people, they read the scriptures, but still they are not ready to accept the authenticity of the scriptures. Like we can see, yesterday we discussed about this. They believe in God, but they don't believe in the word of God. Like that. Srila Prabhupada, he has totally different opinion. Nityalila, Pravishtha, vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, he says, we should always have this in our mind, fixed. If you love me, then love my dog. So that's why, who is the dog? The personal associate of the Lord. Who is the dog? The pure devotee of the Lord. They consider themselves to be the dogs of the Supreme Lord. Sarvasva tomar charane sompiya podechi tomar ghore. I have given up everything, abandoned everything, and I just came and fell on your feet near your door. Tumi to Thakur tomar kukur. You are the Lord and consider me as your dog, and then allow me to remain at your lotus feet. That is the consideration that a pure devotee has for himself in the lotus feet of the Lord. So what Prabhupada says, if you love me, means if you believe in God, you should believe in his associates. The associates of the Lord in the form of the word is these bona fide scriptures. So we have to believe in the scriptures, and as well as we have to believe in those personalities who are the practical examples of those scriptures. then only life will be successful. If not, it's not possible to have a successful life. We shall discuss further tomorrow. Thank you very much. Jai Radhe Shyam.